Hello everyone! Some recipes just have a way of bringing people together. Simple, eggless, and comes together in minutes with just 3 ingredients, and you don't even need any fancy tools for this. So if you want to learn how to make them, then just keep watching. Start by taking a clean large bowl to which we will add our first ingredient, that is the room temperature butter, which is firm to touch but soft enough to mold. One of the reasons your cookie is spread on baking is because the butter may have been too soft to start with. Next, we will take the icing sugar. You can take home ground powdered sugar for this, but make sure to sieve it as we do not want any gritty texture in the cookies. This method of mixing is called creaming the butter and sugar. It's ideal to do this for cookies where you get a classic tender shortbread-like textured cookies. Next, we will add our dry ingredient, that is the all-purpose flour. You can use whole wheat flour for this recipe too, but the ratio will change. Write to me if you'd like to know more about this, or simply check out the description box below. We've added the flour in parts to ensure we do not overmix the dough, and try to be gentle at this point as it's the key to get a perfect crumb in your cookies. And eventually bring it all together by hand, only using your fingertips, as we're not kneading the dough like you would otherwise for breads. Don't worry if you see any few cracks here and there. This is the final texture we're looking for. Once done, let us now prepare our workstation to roll out the dough. Along with using butter paper, use very little flour as taking too much may end up making your dough go dry. This recipe does not require you to refrigerate the dough, so you can go ahead and work with it right away. Although if you'd like to keep it for another day, you can always pop it in the freezer, wrapped securely in a cling film or a Ziploc bag, and they can easily stay frozen up to a month. Now, while rolling the dough, try not to go to and fro. Simply roll it from center to outwards, and bring it to a thickness of about 1/4 inch. Now taking a cookie cutter, I think this is the part where I can say you can get your little ones to help you out. I've used a cutter with the flower shape, but I'm using the round side of it. You can take any such mold from your pantry. It could be a bottle cap, but make sure to keep it a size enough to cut the center as well. Now using my favorite baking tool, the bent scraper, we will gently scoop the cookies without stretching them to avoid losing the shape. Here's a closer look to the thickness that we are looking for, and place them onto the baking tray lined with the parchment paper. Similarly, go ahead and repeat the same for the rest of the dough. And you can place them close to each other since they do not spread much on baking. Now taking our second half of the dough, we will roll out to a similar thickness as the previous and cut the same rounds as before. Only this time, we'll be using a tool like this piping nozzle to cut the center like I'm showing here. You don't really need a nozzle to do this. You can take a thick straw to do it as well. Or you could even try it with a square or a star-shaped cutter. It would work great. And if you'd like to try out more such easy recipes, you can check out my ebook. Simply drop in a comment and I'll share the link. Go ahead and place it on the baking tray. Be careful not to stretch the dough while doing so. And now, time to get creative with the patterns. Using a fork is the easiest I could think of. If you have any suggestions, do share it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. Or even better, ask your little ones. I'm sure they can come up with some great ideas too. Once done, this will go into the preheated oven for about 12 to 14 minutes with the bottom rod on, but make sure to keep a watch. Perfectly baked with an ever so light browning on the edges. Let me give you a closer look. I do like how they've baked. Almost like the shortbread cookies, don't you think? And the patterned cookies seem to have tinted a bit more than the others, as they were slightly flatter while creating the patterns. Nonetheless, they look just as delicious. Now time for the fun part. I've used some hazelnut spread for the filling, which helps to give that extra luscious creamy center and that melt in your mouth feel in every bite. Now simply place the little tops and watch how they turn into pretty little pick-me-up cookies. I'm sure you'd like to give it another filling too. Maybe some peanut butter? Or maybe even a fruit jam. Isn't that what you were thinking? But I think it's the chocolate that pleases everyone. Don't you think? Pretty as can be. These can be served just as it is. But we're gonna give this treat that little extra flavor. So take some crushed peanuts or any other nuts you like, along with some melted chocolate. And now all you gotta do is pipe out the chocolate onto the sides of the cookie. And simply press it into the crushed peanuts to coat. And there you have it, your pretty little chocolate crunch cookies. Cookies like these always remind me why I love baking so much. And it's not just about mixing butter and flour or drizzling that glossy chocolate. It's about creating something that feels a little special in the middle of an ordinary day. And honestly, when you share them with friends or family, you'll notice it's never about the perfection of each cookie, but the joy they bring on the table. So go ahead and grab your aprons and get baking if you haven't yet already. And let me know how it turns out. I'd love to hear from you. I'd also be posting images of your creations on my Instagram page, so do go ahead and share it with me. Time to see how they've turned out on the inside. Perfect as they are, with the crunch on the outside and the creamy center hazelnut spread. Perfect. And if you'd like to be a part of my most awaited Diwali hamper workshop, write to me and I'll share the details. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye for now.